All right, today I'm going to take you through the UFC 305 press conference highlights. Of course, this press conference, as expected, did not disappoint, and we're just going to go through some of the best bits. These guys don't like each other. They are very emotionally charged. There was a lot of shit talk, and there was a lot of emotions on display. Anyway, enough from me. Let's get right into it. Let's go, because there's some fun here.
Is this a fight you have to make ugly to win, or can you outclass Israel on this weekend?
Well, I mean, this fight, every single fight, I fight the way I fight. Like you can hear.
I mean, look at that straight away. They are a very pro-Izzy crowd.
Crowd favorite. I make the crowd make noise, and that's what I'm here to do. I don't have to make it an ugly fight. I will be making it an ugly fight. I can make it a pretty fight. I'm winning the fight. That's at the end of the day what's going to happen.
Everyone here knows why Israel doesn't particularly like you, but in the countdown you say you don't like him. But I don't know, really, has anyone asked you, why don't you like Israel Adesanya?
Well, I mean, like I said, on a personal note, hey, okay, I know what this is about. You want to boo the Springboks, not me. It's they who whipped your ass. It wasn't me. Chill out, guys.
So the South African rugby team go up against the Australian rugby team the day before the fight. So there's a lot of country rivalry, different nations going up against one another in fighting and rugby. And to Dricus' earlier point, that's what you want. You want emotion, whether it's good or bad. You want emotion from the fans.
On a personal note, I don't know Israel Adesanya. What he says, I don't like. And, you know, the way he approached this whole thing, this whole fight that was busy being made, I don't like it at all. When it comes to as a fighter, the man is great. He's done great things. It's just time for me to take over, like I have, and that's why I'm champion of the world.
Fair enough.
Question for Israel.
Doesn't have to like him.
Obviously, you know, you were meant to fight Dricus in Sydney, and then we know how badly banged up your body was, and we saw your performance against Sean. Are you happy that actually you're fighting him now rather than...
It wasn't a good performance against Sean.
Yep, definitely.
Feeling the love.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy I took the time off I needed. I'm happy I, you know, let my body heal, let my mind and spirit relax. And then now I'm clocking back into work, and I'm happy to be here.
You know, that's great to see, because...
follow up on that,
You know, 12 consecutive title fights. That is an insane amount of pressure.
You have done more media duties than nearly anyone in this business. You took some time off to come back here, get this reaction. Have you missed this? Have you missed being at the top?
I missed you guys. I won't lie. At first, I was a bit salty, you know how the streets is, but then
you know how the streets is.
I do this shit every time. And shout out to Tim for helping me chop out the fat. But yeah, the media stuff was cool. This is cool, and Sunday's gonna be even cooler.
He says he's gonna make it an ugly fight. Can you meet him in there and make it ugly and still come out the winner yourself?
I mean, Costa tried to make it ugly, but you know they all try. But I can fight. I can get muddy with the pig, but also
Yeah, Costa tried to make it ugly, but let's be honest, Costa never showed up. Israel was all over him, but that was because he was so intimidated, and he was drinking red wine the night before. Let's not forget about that. That was the worst excuse ever.
and keep it pretty.
I believe you said in an interview this week that I need to be perfect to beat this man on Saturday or Sunday morning. In your mind, is that like a show of respect for Israel's skill set, or just what you feel you need to execute in order to win this? And what does the perfect fight look like for you?
It sounds like that. That's what it sounds like when the guy you're cheering for loses. But at the end of the day, my man, it's a 100% a sign of respect in the sense that this man in the octagon, he was there for a reason. So I need to be perfect for this fight, like I have been for every other fight. Perfect for that fight, to be able to win that fight, and that's why I'm unbeaten in the UFC, and that's going to stay that way, because I have the perfect preparation for this fight.
I mean, he's hit the nail on the head there. He does have to be perfect in this fight, because Israel Adesanya, love him, hate him, whatever, you cannot deny the results the man's had. He's one of the best we've ever seen. So, yeah, you got to show up with your A game.
For Israel, going off that, him saying he needs to be perfect, you've fought over 110 combat sports bouts. You know it doesn't always go perfect in there. So do you take that as a sign of respect? And do you feel like he needs to be perfect to beat you?
Yeah, I'll take it as a sign of he respects what I've done in this game. He respects that I've paved the way for him. And yeah, I guess
Paved the way.
Wants to have to be perfect. If he feels that way, sure, but man, it's hard to do that against me.
Back to you, Dricus. You closed your media day yesterday with a message to Israel about the social media stuff. Is there anything you want to say to him about that now?
Yeah, the photo he got, I'm assuming it came from his For You page because it was me as a teenager. So searching naked teen boys, if that's on your search engine, man, you need to check that shit out.
Oh my God. So Dricus is saying about the picture of the pair of them in their underpants that Dricus was a teenage boy. Oh God, I'm leaving this one alone, but that's pretty funny. He's having a go at Izzy saying you're searching for teenage boys. I never said that. Dricus said that, but let's see Izzy's response.
That wasn't me. That was Mike.
It's pretty cringe.
Somebody's mad. It must have been cold that morning. Don't worry about it.
Dricus was straight out of the cold plunge.
They should be worried, not me, man.
The authorities. Whoa.
And just one for you, Tattoo.
Nothing from Izzy.
Yesterday, you have a...
Fucking Shy!
Shy. Listen, I love this man tied to a vasa, but his back is up against the wall in this one. But let's hear from him.
I know you said you have a bet with Dricus over the rugby match coming up. Can you share the terms of that bet?
Yeah, I put 500 on the Wallabies. I didn't know the cost last week.
Yeah.
A bet's a bet, and I'll pay up.
Just a cheeky 500. Here we go. All right, this weekend, the UFC returns to Perth, Australia. UFC 305 is going down. The champion from South Africa, Dricus Du Plessis, is defending against Israel Adesanya in an all-out grudge match. This fight is going to be fantastic. This video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. This fight's fantastic, and if you want to get in on the action, then DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you a chance right now because they have a fantastic offer for you. If you like to get in on the action, new customers, all you got to do is sign up using the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the app right now. Use the promo code Bisping. New customers that bet $5 will then be rewarded with $150 in bonus bets instantly. I told you, it's a pretty good offer. As I said, DraftKings, they are the official sports betting partner of the UFC. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, then don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. And DraftKings is offering huge contests this weekend with massive cash prizes up for grabs. So this fight is going to be ridiculous. New customers bet $5, get rewarded with $150 in bonus bets only at DraftKings.
How much extra motivation has it added for you being in enemy territory and with the Springboks here as well to possibly do a double Saturday night and Sunday?
Well, I think I heard the whole thing, but let me tell you this. Extra motivation, didn't need extra motivation to do this. I have the same motivation that I had when I won that belt, the same motivation I had when I had my debut, and the same motivation right now as a champion. At the end of the day, I don't come in here as somebody who needs to change anything because I have the belt. No, I'm not going to defend my belt. I'm going to keep on fighting like I never had that belt. Because once I walk in there, that belt is given to an official. It's there. It's nobody's belt. The belt is given to the winner at the end of that fight. So for that time while the fight's happening, that's nobody's belt. And I'm willing to die and take a life for this belt.
Now, let's just talk about that really quickly because that's a really interesting point. Because when you're talking about motivation, is it motivating to represent your country? Of course it is. You want to represent your country and you're proud to do that. But at the end of the day, whether or not you're defending a belt, challenging for a belt, or just opening the fight card on the first prelim of the night, when you're in there, you've got all the motivation you need because there is another man trying to take your head off. Simple as that. It is survival. Yes, it's a sport. It's very technical. It's human chess. There's another man trying to rip your head off, trying to put you to sleep. That is all the motivation you need to defend yourself. And the only way is to defend by attacking. You got to put that man to sleep before he puts you to sleep. All this motivation about belts and countries and all the rest of it, yeah, it's a factor. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it means you make more money and you want to continue. But first and foremost, you're trying to not get the shit kicked out of you.
When this fight was announced, you mentioned that it'll be done in spectacular fashion. Is getting a finish over Israel Adesanya the main priority, or is
No,
getting
a win.
simply enough?
Well, let me tell you this, getting the win is, of course, the main priority. But looking at every single fight I've had, first opportunity I get to get a finish, I'm going for it. Am I looking for a finish? Absolutely. It doesn't present itself, I'll make it happen. And if not, I'll be doing that, looking for a finish for 25 minutes. We've seen it before. Every single fight I go out there and try and finish, and that's what I'm going to do again.
When you get the finish, the fight is over. It's
Next question
done.
for Israel.
So you're always looking for the finish.
After you lost the title to Alex Pereira at the end of 2022, you returned with one of the most impressive performances in UFC history. What will people say on Sunday after UFC 305?
This is new. This is new. This is new for me. I just want to show you guys how great I am. And he said himself, like, he has the belt to prove that he's great. I was great without the belt. I was great before the belt, and I'll be great after the belt. I'm Israel Adesanya, and I'll remind you guys that I'm the last style bender.
He is the last style bender, but in terms of greatness, yeah, he had a great kickboxing pedigree. He had a great career, but the definition when you get to the UFC of kind of being a great fighter is when you become the champion of the world. Now that he doesn't have the belt, of course, it's a little convenient to say that, but he's a great person. He's a great fighter. He's probably a great human being. I don't know him that well, but from what I see, he is. But, you know, listen, he's got a tough fight on his hands. And the great talk, listen, he's got his place in history. Israel Adesanya is one of the greatest middleweights we've ever seen. Second most successful middleweight fighter in terms of title defenses since Anderson Silva. So the greatness is done. But can it be sustained? Is he still one of the top people? What he did in the past, that's never going away. That is set in stone. But is he still, right now, one of the best middleweights on the planet? That's what this fight's about. That's why in mixed martial arts, you're only as good as your last fight. Let's see how this one is.
The great Ned Brockman took a lot of inspiration from you during his run. Do you need any external motivators for something like this, or is this another day in the office?
Shout out to Ned, one of the greatest Australians to ever live. I don't really need any extra motivation. For me, this whole time away was good for me to soul search, find myself, and realize that I'm still new at this and I can still get this done. But yeah, I don't need any extra motivation. He's my motivation. Fuck the belt. I'm coming for your head.
And the crowd obviously liked that one. But the thing is, in terms of motivation, as I said earlier, all the motivation you need is your opponent because he's going to try and take your head off. Dricus Du Plessis is a dangerous man. He said he's taken some time away. He has taken time off. He has rested the body. He has rested his mind. And he's also missed being the champion. He's seen other people walking around with what he perceives in his mind to be his belt. That pisses you off. When Robert Whittaker walked into the ring with me when I was the champion and he won the interim championship, I was like, this cheeky bastard, he's got my belt on. For Israel Adesanya, that's what he sees, and that's giving him a lot of motivation.
Thanks, boys.
Look at that stare down. Look at them. Eye to eye. As Strickland would say, dick to dick, nipple to nipple. Strickland.
Question for Adesanya, Teddy here from KO Sports. With every iconic victory, you've given us a celebration, something to celebrate. Now, if it's a given victory, do we see a Happy Gilmore style celebration?
Oh, golf. Nah.
Golf? What is this question?
I don't really know what's going to happen after the fight, but all I know is I'm going to fight for the fight of my life this time. The last fight, I'm embarrassed, even myself, because I'm an artist. I like to show off. That last fight wasn't really me. I was the most, and still am the most active champion in UFC history. 5 fights in 16 months. Fuck the fights, the camps. Training with Dan Hooker, training with Carlos Ulberg, beating me up every day. It's hard. So now I've taken my time to do everything right, and yeah, I'm gonna focus on the fight. Whatever I do afterwards, we'll see.
Godspeed.
Well, thank God, because having a pre-planned celebration, never works out. Having a pre-planned speech, you just sound cringy and corny. And if he was to turn around and say, yeah, I've got something special lined up, I've got a real good, nice little bit of body popping ready to go. No, that's not what you do. Focus on the fight and just be natural, be in the moment, do what feels good. And that guy waited in line to ask a question, and that was the question. Come on, mate, give your head a wobble.
I don't know if you've seen over the past 24 hours, initially, Izzy was the favourite heading to this fight, but as we've gotten closer, those odds have shortened.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think about that? What might you attribute that to?
Well, there's no place for odds in an octagon, I have to say that. But, I mean, obviously the odd makers are seeing what I know and seeing what the people are seeing. I mean, it's pretty evident. Like I said, the man needs to be motivated to be back here. He had a, emotional feel to be back here. He said it. He's motivated by me. That's what gets him back in here. I'm motivated by greatness. I'm not motivated by some person. If he doesn't step in, I'll be the same motivated fighter that steps in there. And anybody can see this. Once again, it's about how bad do you want it. It's pretty evident how bad I want this. And on Sunday morning, there will be no doubt of how bad I wanted this.
I'm still waiting for a back and forth. I'm still waiting for Izzy to pick up a microphone in response, as opposed to just, answering a question from the crowd, a journalist, or, just a member of the public. Let's have some back and forth, boys. Let's go. Izzy, pick up the mic. Dricus, talk some shit. Boys, sell the fight.
Izzy, do you have a response?
When did I become the underdog?
It's a pick-em. It's very...
Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. Chill out.
Oh, God. Oh, he went there. He went
Shut the fuck
there.
up while I go get my coach's taser as well. Fucking save your balls. When did I become the underdog? Okay, wait, what does this mean? How do I make money off myself?
Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. Chill out.
I mean, you bet on yourself like you always have, right?
Yeah, have to.
Culturally, this has been made about culture. We didn't really want to make it about culture, but, someone made it about culture.
Amen.
So here we are. The question for you is, I grew up, my parents were in Nigeria. They obviously moved to a country as well to better themselves. When you win the belt again, do you plan on taking it back to Africa again?
On Tuesday, I'm going back to Nigeria. I think Friday, I'm going to South Africa. And then the next week, I'm going back to New Zealand. I am a child of the earth. I'm a child of the earth. And when I take this bet, I'm taking it everywhere with me.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Question over here.
Are you taking the servants with you when you're going back?
Oh, here we go now, because apparently Izzy did an interview and he talked about how they had servants and he didn't know how to bathe himself without a servant until he was 8 years old. That was in an article that I saw online this morning. So let's hear the response from Izzy here.
You're taking the servants with you if you're going back.
What the f*** are you even on about?
My God. It's obviously a see and tell. We can see that. What do you mean? You're saying that I made it about...
Bro, shut the f*** up. You don't even know anything about my story. You have no idea who the fuck I am.
I don't care about your story. I don't care about your story.
Listen, my father and myself had to wake up at 4 a.m. and clean the banks while my mom studies to be a nurse. You don't know my story. Don't speak of my story if you don't know my story.
I don't care.
I will show you who you are Sunday. So right now, shut the fuck up.
I can't wait.
Bye unless you see.
You're talking about I made it about anything else.
You did.
Being the first
You couldn't even respect
African
the people of the land.
I am the
Walking
first.
the country. You were the one not even doing anything. I took my shoes off to connect with the people, with the mob. What did you do? You stand there and try to mean mug me. Are you stupid?
My man.
I'm not your fucking man, bitch.
This is my land.
Oh, shit. Just not that.
Tied to a Vasa chirps up, this is my land, and he's probably right there. If we're going to play that game.
You're going to do what I did, take as the first residing African. That was exactly it. You never change that. You can't change that.
I will slay you,
impossible.
pig. Shut up, pink fit.
You can't change the facts, but you can't change those facts.
You got one more?
I know you said you manifested this when you were watching the Robert Whittaker-Dricus fight. Yeah. How has this energy from Dricus today and in the build-up? How's the energy from Dricus today and in the build-up? How's that matched to what you manifested and imagined leading into this? And what are you feeling right now from the energy in the room?
He touched the subject there because I do this for my family. I do this for the people I love and how
This is where he's now starting to get really emotional.
I'll fight for you forever. I swear to God. Watch this. Look, I'm a fucking human being. I am a man. I can cry and whoop your ass at the same time.
Really good line.
I feel the love from the crowd. First time I fought here, 221. That was February 2018. That was me making my dream come true. Sunday, I'm gonna fucking kill your dreams, bitch. I wanna fucking kill your dreams.
So Izzy there, clearly under a lot of emotional pressure. And yeah, he's right. You can still cry and whoop someone's ass at the same time. And it's not a sign of weakness necessarily. But it is a sign of maybe some being over emotional. That's clearly what it's a sign of, you know. Listen, the man probably feels like the sport's passed him by. He's forgot about him. Dricus is the new belle of the ball. He's stopping everybody. He's the champion. Izzy's got to control those emotions inside the octagon. Yes, you can use those emotions to fuel you in training camp, to get you out of bed in the morning, to go the extra rounds, to run the extra mile, to stick to the diet, to not cut corners. But inside the octagon, you can't use the emotions then. Then you have to be cool, calm, and collected. Now, granted, if you hurt your opponent, he's wobbled up against the fence, then you think, oh yeah, here we go, I got this son of a gun. Let's go and put it to him and knock him out. But inside the octagon, you have got to be very, very careful.
What a note to end things here at the press conference. Perth, no crowd quite like you. Ceremonial weigh-in tomorrow at 11.
And look at
We're
that.
Clear the stage and
Izzy's
square off
up.
these athletes. Stay with us.
Straight away. Straight up off the stage. Now, what do you think about that? Is that emotional weakness? Is he too fired up? Is he too pissed off? Has Dricus got in his head? I really don't know what to make of that. Let me know what you think in the comment section, please. But it's definitely interesting, that's for sure. There's many different ways you could dissect that and look at that and overcomplicate it and come up with theories. Only Izzy knows. But Dricus, he was cool, he was calm, and he's certainly ready. Let's get to the face-off. Pretty understated attire for Izzy, let's be honest. Dricus trying to get at him straight away. And when you look at them side by side, Izzy isn't much taller. Typically, he has a big height advantage on his opponents. Look at that. Izzy's still fired up, chatting some shit. Dricus just stone cold in his face, kind of grinning at him as well, smirking at him. That is annoying. I mean, listen, we might see the meanest, nastiest version of Israel Adesanya. But this is what I'm talking about. You got to be careful because then you're playing into the hands of your opponent. Because Dricus is looking to take him down. Make no mistake. I'm saying, listen, he's going to stand on the feet. He's going to trade. He's not afraid to do that. But the path to victory would be to take him down. And if Izzy comes forward overly emotional, angry, wanting to prove a point, he might walk right into a takedown. Still, I'll tell you what, press conferences, in terms of a success, that was a success. That did what we want to see, right? We want to see the fight get hyped, and that made it way more interesting. But what do you think about all of that? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Oh, by the way, tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream for the fights. Callum Bisping, my son, will be joining me. Rebecca will jump on here and there as well. So we got a family stream, guys. So come and check it out. Tune in. Thank you very much. Enjoy your Friday.